not saying nothing back to me. It was an action.
So you call it your truth telling?
No, I'm pretty much an honest
Look,
I know, but it does hurt feelings though.
I prayed on the way here that you wouldn't ask me something I had to be truthful over. I will tell the truth. If I have to shut and lock those doors, I'll tell the truth.
See, and I respect that. See, when you're dealing with certain people, like I respect you and I love you a whole lot more if you keep it honest and truthful with me.
Yes.
Because if you don't, then therefore I always have to be skeptical of anything you tell me but like I said, doing something to a person and then saying something to a person to me is totally different.
Totally different.
Because if I say something to you that you don't like about yourself and then you start being nasty to me and talking about, well, you don't like it when what gets done to you when you do to others. No, I don't like it, but let's look at the situation. I only said something to you. Now you're doing something.
Yeah.
You know, there is a huge difference between me saying, hey, look, Narcissus, I told you don't wear that color tonight, right?
But I matched.
I'm so glad you did.
Right? I told you don't wear that color tonight.
Right.
So you get offended because I sit there and said I told you don't wear that color tonight. So now everything you do after this point is being nasty, like don't go talk to him, or I need a rag. I ain't giving you no rag, or you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's doing something because I just told you. I told you don't do that.
Yeah, that was the truth.
Right.
Right.
Well, if it was, I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her what to wear.
He didn't tell me nothing.
So here's another take on that same situation.
Okay.
Is there are people in this town, and I don't have to name a name, not names, but a name.
Okay.
I don't get where you as a person feel as though you can say any kind of hateful, nasty, mean thing you want to say, but the moment somebody tries to defend themselves, because I've been on that end of it, because of something somebody had to say about me that was horrible.
So you were being bullied.
Within the last few months, I was a pedophile.
Yeah, so you've been
Over
bullied.
over a Facebook post. But I just can't grasp how those people can lash out and be so mean and nasty, but yet you're not expected to at least say something. And the moment you do, they demonize you for being the wrong person.
Right.
Well, see,
it's like a double get you.
See, a lot of times you're a business owner, you know what I'm saying, got your stuff together, right? So a lot of times people
like everybody else.
Where's that glass?
Right.
People will say something knowing, like, if this person reacts, you know, you can lose it all, or you don't want to put what you got going on in jeopardy dealing with somebody who's said something to you or did something to you. But see, that's why you got a friend like me then.
Yeah.
So when they say something to you like, yes, you just let me know.
It's a double-edged sword.
It is.
But I can tell you, I've always been a warrior when I had to be. And that double-edged sword don't bother me, because I have been put on a list here in town
I was scared for y'all for a minute.
as a place not to shop because of my sexuality. I was put on a list here in town as a place that if you are a real Christian, don't support that business. And I'm not even, these people, y'all knew my name was Mason. Everybody knows who Mason is, I'd like to think, or at least my ego says they do. But yet they still refer to me not by name.
Well, you don't want to get me started on Christians. That's one thing, because I've been dealing with people who say or proclaim to be Christians all my life, but their actions show me
Different.
totally different
Yes.
from what they say they are.
Yes.
So you can say you're a Christian all day long, but telling somebody not to come shop because of your sexuality, that's hatred.
That is plain and simple.
And that's not the
Then I asked her,
love.
what-
That's not Christ's love.
No.
You gotta show love, regardless of how I feel about what you do, or where you might go, or the things that you might like. That might be completely different from everything, and I might not think of you as a person, but I'm still gonna show that love for you, because any amount of love can turn anything around.
I welcome anybody through that front door.
I know you do.
And when they come in, if I have to trip over that sewing machine back there to get up and get up to the front of this store and say, welcome, how are you today? And try to show you love. Even to someone who snuck in a guise and ended up wanting to pray for me over the counter. But I prayed with her. I did. I let her pray with me, and I hope you watch these. I don't think you do, but I hope you do. But I let her pray with me and pray over me, but when we were finished, I just simply, and I never raised my voice. I never try to raise my voice. It's hard. I try to keep it in the basement.
Least in the
But I told her, I said, I appreciate that prayer from you, but I'm donating that prayer back
to you.
and she had never heard that phrase before. So that threw her for a loop.
Because you don't want
And
everybody
she
to pray
said,
for
I
you.
like it.
And she said, what do you mean
I
you're
like it.
donating it back to me? And I said, because you're wasting your time praying for me, because I know what's in my heart.
I like it.
But you need to be praying for your church that you're following.
That's-
Because you all
that's
do
a good
not know what's in my heart.
That's a good one.
And I wanted her to know she could take that. I wanted her, I gave that back to her,
I like it.
but in a kind way
In a way
that she wasn't expecting.
Right. Right.
now once again, I don't really know if you know who you're dealing with, but
I do, and I love it. That's why I love being on here.
I like this is one of the things I like to say, like, and we're gonna move on right after this, is I'd rather be around, and I'm gonna break it down to y'all, criminals, because listen, than a Christian, because not all, but the ones who proclaim to be a lot of times, right? Because if you a thief, guess what I know you tempted to do? Steal from me, right?
And I'm not going to tempt you.
Right. You a murderer, guess what I know you subject to do? Kill me, right? But if you're a Christian, man, I don't know what you might do to me.
And that is sad.
No,
I don't know what.
And we gotta work.
I don't know what's on there.
I gotta work hard.
From 0 to 100, you don't know where they fall in that scale. And
They can go there real quick.
being here for 8 years, I can tell you that I know more wonderful folks who keep on that low end of that Christian scale, but it's only a handful over here that likes to crank it up and say what they want to say, and instead of feeding children here in town, they're out protesting a festival that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So you're wasting time and energy that you could be praying for somebody and helping somebody, but instead you're choosing to hate on that somebody.
Sometimes I believe
And
that people,
organize your people to come and join you to hate somebody.
It's crazy.
It's scary.
sometimes the things that people hate the most are their worst fears for themselves, and I'm gonna leave that right there.
It's called a closet.
Yeah. And we're done. I'm gonna leave that right there.
All right, we'll move on right into our last hot topic for the night, which is, if you was to rate Main Street 1 through 10, what would you give it and why?
So I would give our Main Street a 10.
10.
And I'm going to tell you, there's people that'll be like, now Mason, what do you mean it? I give it a 10 because I'm down here.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm down here as a beacon of something.
Yep.
I
You
don't
see
know
it
what
for
it
what it
is.
is gonna be.
But for 8 years, I've watched it, and the North Main was really, to me, that was the biggest change, and it was the reason we came here. I just didn't want to go down there.
Right.
But
No,
it was during
it right.
it was during that Remain North that we decided to open our business, but this building called to me. We came back and looked at this building 3 times, and I was like, this is the one. This is the one that lives the Ipswich spirit, saying, I like him. Get in here, you
Right,
need to go
get in
make this
here.
space. But, it's 8 years, and I've seen good, and I've seen bad, but they are always trying to make it better. Whether they do or they don't, That's a toss-up, but they're at least always trying.
When you say they, who you referring to?
Other business owners, maybe 10% of the city folk, the government folk, maybe 10% of them, because I think the other rest of them are just in a la-la land in the 50s that they're real stuff. It's sad. It's really sad. But, Winchester, if Winchester doesn't progress, even in baby steps, then we as citizens of this city and this county, we are going to be lost to the world, because the world is not going to stop. The world is not going to slow down for Winchester. They're not going to send cupcakes to the mayor for giving out a Girl Scout award. They're not going to do that. They're going to keep moving forward. And if we don't, then we're going to be lost. And that's sad to me. But I still give it a 10 because I've got faith that we can pull it out.
You keep on progressing.
I've got faith.
You got it, and you putting your vision out there for downtown.
Thank you.
I give downtown for effort.
She's breaking it down.
1 out of 10. I give downtown. I give them a good 7. I give them a good 7. There's a lot of things that have been done. Like I know when they were going to paint that, they want to keep it more traditional. When they were painting the building over there,
Yes.
that side building, and I saw
Yes.
people were like, wait, don't paint that. So they're making an effort to keep it more like a thing. But like, there's so many other people that could have businesses downtown Winchester. But if I wanted to get a building downtown Winchester, I can't go in and spend a majority of what I would buy my stock with to fix up the building. So
Right.
I believe
Or
that
in rent.
in rent, and I don't know what the rent prices are
They're
down.
crazy.
And I figured that it was.
I'm fortunate. And,
Yeah.
and my rent's not crazy, but I've been here for 8 years.
Yeah, like I couldn't
I'm a
imagine
constant.
paying like $1,300-$1,400
There
a
you
month.
go.
I couldn't imagine paying $1,300 or $1,400 a month rent and not owning my own building downtown, when just the face there alone, it would take a while to get
Yeah.
people in and out, and so that would barely even cover.
My first year
My
here,
rent.
I sat down here that first year and cried a lot, because there would be 3 weeks or better that I would come down here every day, Tuesday through Saturday, and not